So now I'm giving 7 tips to you what you have to keep in mind if you come to Croatia. The first tip is where to rent apartment. Of course, everyone thinks at first Airbnb. Well, that's one option, but keep in mind that there are other options also. I rented my apartment via booking.com. When I was looking at the selection in Airbnb, most of the apartments were quite expensive, and that price range I was thinking about 600 euros per month. Well, there weren't so nice apartments available at the Airbnb. They were small, not good enough equipment, and so on. The place they were was like 2-3 kilometers from the city center. So I went to the booking.com and I found these really nice options there, 2-3 apartments which were on my price range and nice equipment and the perfect location. So always check different places, not just stick with the Airbnb but also another services. Tip number 2, washing your dishes. Especially in Nordic countries, you use a washing brush to wash your dishes. Well, almost any other place in the world you don't have dishwashing brushes available at any stores. You use a sponge. Well, I'm not used to use a sponge, and this has been really difficult to me, and that's the tip to you. If you live in Nordic countries or you have used to use a dishwashing brush, bring your own with you, because in here you cannot find a brush. I've been looking like 10 different stores and I haven't found any. Tip number 3, drinking water. The water quality in here is quite good and you can drink a tap water. I've bought some water from the grocery stores to home because my stomach is a little bit sensitive. In Finland I drink tap water because it's the best in the world in there and I'm used to it. But here in Croatia I'm using like mixed typing, like drinking sometimes tap water and sometimes bottled water. But normally it's perfectly fine here in Croatia to drink tap water. Tip number 4, safety. Of course, everyone might think that, oh, is it safe to go there or there? Should I be scared of something? Well, here in Croatia, no. You can be perfectly safe in here. I have my camera in front of me at the moment and I don't feel any kind of like if someone's coming to steal it or no. I'm feeling perfectly fine here. Of course, in any part of the world, if you are going in the middle of the night, fully drunken, alone, you can find your problems. Don't do that anywhere. I don't. So if you keep like your common sense with you, you will be fine. Just keep an eye your belongings and don't count your like monies in front of everyone. Do that privately and don't be too drunk. You will be fine. Tip number 5 is ATMs and paying with your card. So ATMs you can find them everywhere here in Croatia and Makarska. But there are a few things you have to keep in mind when you are withdrawing cash with the ATM. All the ATM companies are offering you, if you are withdrawing like this fixed percents of what the withdrawing is costing to you. Don't choose that option. The cheapest one I've seen, has been 9.6% of the amount you are withdrawing, and the most expensive one has been almost 20%. Don't choose that one. I have withdrawn 1,000 kunas, which is roughly 135 euros. And I selected from the ATM that I'm choosing my own card company's rates to what the withdrawing is paying to me. And when I withdraw that 1,000 kunas, 135 euros, the cost to me was 5 euros and 75 cents. So always choose when you are at the ATM that you are using your own card company's prices. Also, it's wise to keep some amount of cash with you, because sometimes the card machines in the stores or at the restaurants isn't working. And on that we can leap to tip number 6, restaurants. They are like, I don't know, I feel sometimes there's something hazy in some restaurants. Something is a bit off. Well, the card machine is the obvious one. If the card machine is, oh, it just broke down, I've called the repairman and blah, 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 blah. Don't believe those explanations. They might be lying to you. And also, if you don't get your receipt, well, that tells something isn't right. So always keep in mind that if you don't get your receipt, don't go back in that restaurant again. And if you see at the restaurant those advertisements that the drinks are this cheap and that cheap, watch out for them. I have my own experiences that those drinks normally don't have hardly any alcohol in those, so they are like water. So if you notice that your drink doesn't have hardly any alcohol in it, don't go there back again. You can choose more better one restaurant. And of course, if you are drinking wine or beer, that's more hard to tamper with. Also, at some restaurants, I've noticed that the service is quite slow, and especially when it comes to down, you want to pay your bill, it gets even slower. So if you notice that kind of service, that you don't have like any service, don't go there back again. Choose another one. And if you find a good restaurant, stick to them. In Makarska, I have found 3 very, very nice restaurants, and they are all here at the main square. So there are this restaurant Point and restaurant Castellum, and I highly, highly recommend those 2 ones. And between those 2 restaurants, there are this wine bar, and also in there you can find excellent service. My high recommendations for those 3. So my tip number 7, the last one, is communicating with the locals. So it's wise to learn some local language everywhere you are going. So here in Croatia, learn some Croatian. For example, thank you and how to say hi or good day is enough. It can melt a little bit of ice between you and the locals. And also keep in mind to be friendly. Don't be a jerk. Of course, if you are a jerk, you get your return quite quickly. If you are friendly, also they are friendly towards you. And I have noticed that some of those who are like guides to the tours or at the restaurants, they can be highly educated. For example, one tour guide was just finishing her master thesis, and he was studying history at the university. And one waitress was studying law, so keep in mind that they might be wiser than you are. So yeah, don't be a jerk and learn some local languages. That's all for today, and I will be making some new videos here in Makarska in the near future. Thanks and bye.